Welcome to the Dork Forest. Jackie and her pals will never bore us. Shameless confessions
about our obsession
will make us laugh and smile. So let's explore the Dork Forest and dork down for a while.
Hi, it's Jackie Kashian. Welcome to the Dork Forest. I am in my hotel room in Sunnyvale, California. You don't know where it is. It's in the Bay Area. So, you know the websites, JackieKashian.com, dorkforest.com, thedorkforest.com. The credits. Patrick Brady is going to be wrestling with this audio. He's going to fix it. Vilmos fixes the website. And Mike Rickberg sang the song you just heard, and he'll sing again at the end. Sitting in my hotel room is Andrew Leslie, founder and
Not founder, just...
Not the founder?
You know, contributing member.
Oh, contributing member of FreakinAwesomeNetwork.com?
Yes.
I thought you were the founder.
No, I'm not.
You're living a lie, brother. No, you aren't.
I didn't want to tell you no until I was here, because then I could, clear it all up. I'd clear it all up.
All right, Freakin' Awesome Network guy. And Freakin' Awesome Network, by the way, you guys review everything.
We'll review anything that people will want to write about. So we don't have any...
Oh, okay. So as a contributor, they're always looking for people to contribute on any sort of... Like, if you want to write about Pokeball, do it.
Do it.
All right.
If you listening at home want to write about it, just shoot me an email and we can probably put you on there as a contributing member.
There you go. Andrew Leslie. There will be a link, a contact link. And you're like, I'm going to bring my girlfriend because she's a dork too. And I was like, is she a dork adjacent or is she got her own dorkdoms? And she's like, oh, I've got them. And it's Maria Renteria.
That's how I like to say it. Yes.
That is how you like to say it. Yeah, you're going to have to...
Rhymes.
It does rhyme. You're going to have to own it. And so welcome to the program.
Thank you.
I wish you guys could all see Jackie right now. She's laid out like like a Playboy playmate. She's on the bed because we're taking up the two chairs.
Somewhere between Hugh Hefner and Jabba the Hutt. Things have gone awry here because I'm lying on the bed. First of all, the room is hot. Do you find the room to be slightly warm?
Yeah, we're in a cabana right now.
Exactly. I'm going to be divesting myself of clothes as the hour goes on, and everyone will be, it's the very first Dork Forest where all of a sudden we end up... Now, this room is ridiculous, isn't it? Don't you... What do you think of this item over here? There's like a spiky mirror.
I love how they put the world's smallest mirror in the world's largest frame, and it's like, don't touch it, don't do anything to it. Is it a clock? It looks like...
It's called art.
You know what? I should probably... Yeah, my phone doesn't have a camera. And then on the other side, there's a giant door-sized mirror that has been framed and is leaned up against the wall like you're going to go through it to visit Narnia. Yeah. It's amazing.
It's intimidating.
It is intimidating. Once upon a time...
It makes you really think twice about what happens in this room.
Right. And then there's a mirror above, like, the minibar that I never get the key to. And you're just like, are they watching me everywhere? What is happening? I don't know.
They want you to see what you look like when you drink.
Right. That's what I'm like when I'm having my Tazo tea. Tazo? How do you put it?
It's Tazo.
It's Tazo, right? Yeah. That's how I go with it.
Earl Grey. Well, Captain Picard's favorite...
Oh, well done. Well done with the Star Trek reference. Now, did you call it Star Trek Next Generation? Do you call it TNG?
I always called it Next Gen.
Okay, see, I called it Next Trek.
Next Trek, yes.
I called it Next Trek because it was the first Trek after the first Trek. And, I mean, you guys are much younger than I am. So I was there when it initiated, when it all came to be, right?
Yeah.
And so we were just like, yeah, you guys going to watch Next Trek? Yeah, we are. It turns out we are. And we're going to discuss it. And it was before it was cool to be a nerd, cool to be dorks. Yeah. So
you had to hide it amongst yourselves.
Mm-hmm. Let's go to Maria first because I want her to get to talk, and I have the suspicion that Andrew and I will go off on comic books, and you will be.
I'll just laugh at whatever you guys say. It's fine.
Oh, it's very supportive. You could be in radio. It's so you guys live here in the Bay Area.
Yes.
And you are you said you're into Harry Potter.
That's right.
Is it a new obsession?
It's not. Since it came out, I think I've been into it. But I think as I've gotten older, I've kind of like purchased more merchandise, got more tattoos. I've kind of like really.
You've embraced it more. Do you have a Harry Potter tattoo?
I do, yes.
What?
It is Severus Snape coming out of a green smoke with his wand.
Oh.
I'm kind of in love with that guy. So.
Yeah, well...
not Alan Rickman.
Not Alan Rickman.
No. I love him, but I'm not in love with him.
But you're in love with Severus Snape. I'd rather be in love with Alan Rickman, who had better hygiene. I remember him in Die Hard. So he was the best part of Die Hard, quite honestly. It's
great taste in suits, that man.
Oh, yeah. Savile Row. So you've read all the books.
I've read all the books. Mm-hmm, I've seen all the movies.
Are you in Pottermore? Are you doing Pottermore?
I'm not in that. I'd rather, I don't want to help create the website. I just want it to be done so I can play with it.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't need to set up everything.
Is it still in beta?
I think so. I think they're not letting people in until...
You got to be invited. I got some. Like that. You got some friends that are invited. I haven't committed to it. I love me some Harry Potter.
Yeah.
It's like the Google Plus of websites now? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's one more thing to do. I can't possibly have any more websites that I need to go fiddle and diddle on. So,
I can't remember any more login and passwords. I think I've run out of the combination of passwords and usernames. You know, it's I just use my name.
Password 1, password 2, and then you're done after 9.
Right. I've just, it's gotten to the point where you're I see why I don't get it in the older movies, they're I could, or in television where they can always hack into your password things.
Yeah.
But now I could see how it could be. But 10 years ago, when I only had to have 2, there was my AOL account.
Yeah.
There was that one. I liked flowers. There's your hint. But now there's at least 13 passwords. I lost my registered Starbucks card. It's a fascinating story. I'm going to tell it more than once. And so I had to go on, and they were like, "What's your username and password?" And I was like, "Is my username my email address?"
Yeah.
Nope. And is it my other email address, which is my AOL address? I have an AOL account from 1989 that my sister set up. If you ever get an AOL email from you, it says it's coming from Jesus.
I still have mine with my ridiculous...
high school screen name?
Yes.
Awesome. Is it... if it were today, is it
it's awful.
I have a friend who was really into Caroline in the City. And hers was a Caroline in the City. Let's hear it, Maria. Safe space. Safe space.
It's Carrie S13.
Sex in the City?
No. It was one of those things. It's Caring Soul, which is what the S stands. It's one of those they ask you about your personality. Oh, what do you like? Are you a caring person? And then they create the screen name based on your answers. It was awful.
Wow, you went through some sort of screen name generator process? Wow, you are very lucky that it's not today, and you're well, I like the Hunger Games. So I think it's going to be...
It's Cannibal 1.
I get nothing to... I get so much junk mail. I check it every now and then. I always have 1,000 emails.
Right. I check it because I have it set up on my iPad. Mm-hmm. What I'm mostly getting is my brother Scott has an AIM email address that I was hey, I'm getting Viagra spam from you. If you could somehow cancel that account. And he's I don't even know I can't even access the account anymore. And I was you could if you spent 12 seconds, then your sister wouldn't have to get Viagra emails from you. How about that? No, not worth it? Fair enough. We'll move on. And so, how about you? You got an AOL account, Andrew?
No, I have my original Hotmail account from when I was 16, though.
There you go.
And I have not changed it.
And what's
it's Pedalbyte.
Pedalbyte.
And I used to ride bikes as a kid, and when you ride your bike and you misstep on it, the spoke spins back around and the pedal slams you in the shin.
Oh, right.
And it's a Pedalbyte.
Oh, Pedalbyte.
I still use it, and it looks great on resumes.
It does look good. It's very professional. I like what's happening. It's my nephew, whose name is Salmon. He designed the Ranger T-shirt.
Oh, okay.
The Ranger of the Dork Forest. He's an artist because he was named Salmon.
Yeah.
And so he had to do something. But his nickname in high school was Pez, which I think is some sort of Spanish word for fish or something. It's some sort of bastardization on that.
Pescado.
Yeah. And so all of his friends called him Pez. And so his email had the word Pez in it. That's all I remember. Another great tale.
Yeah.
Take that one with you, Rangers. And so So what do you read now? I mean, do you read fantasy now, or do you read other children's books? What are you into, Maria?
I just keep rereading the same books.
Oh, sweet! I'm a huge rereader myself.
I try to read. I read what was it not crime novels, like thrillers and things like that. But there hasn't been a new fantasy book that I've gotten into. What author are you reading right now? Her name is Tana French?
Yeah.
French, yeah. Tana French.
The Likeness and what was the other one you were reading?
Did you read them too, or?
No, I just see them on the bookshelf.
And it's a set of 3 books right now. It's The Likeness, In the Woods, and Faithful Place.
Maria, tell them what you read.
What?
Tell them what you read.
And Twilight.
You've read Twilight? Of course. What? No. Why wouldn't you?
I'm not afraid.
That's it. Don't be shy.
I hate the movies, though. Okay.
You didn't like the movies?
No, they're awful. Completely awful.
I have not seen the movies. I have not read the books. Yeah. I instead chose, sadly, the Dragon Tattoo series. I was given the choice of the 2. Guess what was an error? Yeah, because the Dragon Tattoo series is enormously dark, and
we've seen the movie. Like if they
you saw the Swedish movie?
Yeah,
yes.
Oh yeah.
Not a chance in hell. Here's
how much
those movies.
Here's how much rape happened in that movie. I was tired because I would get up really early for work, and she was watching it late at night.
Yeah.
I fall asleep during one rape scene, right? And when I wake up, she's being raped again. Right. I'm how long is this one rape scene?
And then she rapes a guy. There's just the whole book is rape, and I was like, how they change things for the movie,
right?
How many rape scenes did they leave?
Yeah, I don't want to know.
Book?
Did you read the books?
Not yet. No.
Oh my God, you're not missing anything. Unless you want to find out about those missing rape scenes. You are correct. Yeah, I'm doing there's a long... Are you guys coming to the show tonight?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It's because I do a long bit about the books that I've read. and some of it's on the Dragon Tattoo series, so there'll be some rape talk. Mm-hmm. Just so people know, I'm against. Gonna take a stand. I'll take a stand.
Controversial.
I know it. I know I'm always taking a stand against other things like hitting. Anyway, so the trilogy that you're reading, though, is it a A is for Alibi? Is it a Kinsey Millone mystery? I've read those. I'll read anything, quite honestly.
It's all set in Scotland.
Oh, sweet Scotland.
And the whole
current,
series...
present tense?
Yes, so it's it goes in the past, but kind of in now.
Right, but it doesn't go back to Kilts and the Laird, does it?
No, but it's the 3 books are set up. There are 3 different characters from one of the books.
Okay.
So you kind of follow the characters into their own stories, and they all have terrible stories.
Really?
Each of them have 2 of them.
Are they the heroes of the story?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
So one of the books is about it's a girl. She's a detective, and it kind of goes. You find out that a woman is killed somewhere in the country, and her old partner comes and finds her and takes her out to where this woman is, and it turns out this woman looks exactly like her. It's like her double. So,
weird.
So nobody knows that this woman is dead, and she used to live with she had roommates, something like that. So they decided to put the cop undercover as the woman, to find out what was going on in this house.
Right.
So. That was my favorite. It's called Likeness.
And that was the best of them so far?
Yes.
Very nice.
All of them, yeah.
And do you are they detective novels that you like?
Yeah.
Have you read a lot of the older ones too? Did you read Dashiell Hammett and Raymond Chandler and all that stuff? Not so much?
No.
Just how about Dean Koontz? That's I think from the 80s.
No, my parents are really into Dean Koontz. Every time I try to tell them about, you should read this book. It's really good. They're like, I just picked up this new Dean
Koontz book. That guy is prolific.
He's got his own section at Barnes & Noble.
There's Grisham and there's him and there's Stephen King and there's... Right. I haven't read any. I mean, I read one Dean Koontz because my mother-in-law, my mom, my mom's-in-law. So my husband was raised by ladies, and so they've read all the Dean Koontz, and they've handed me a couple of them. And I think I read one that was about the moon. That had the word moon in the title. Not the moon is a harsh mistress, which is a Heinlein book, and the best name of any book ever. The moon is a harsh mistress. So do you read science fiction too, or?
I read anything Andrew gives me.
Oh, okay.
that
Oh,
I'll
there you
check
go.
out. Like, I think there's a few steampunk
You're a good-
novels and things like that.
Nice work. Nice work with the, because it is supportive, and it is nice to have something else to talk about. Because I'll read, I mean, if Andy hands me something, there's some Ian Banks that I haven't been able to get through, just because Ian Banks is kind of dense. He's real sciencey science fiction, and so it gets kind of sciencey.
He's very hardcore science fiction.
Pretty hardcore.
Hard sci-fi.
Pretty hard. And I liked it. Like, I loved Player of Games, but it did take me a second to read it.
Yeah.
And I tend to want to skim the entire book and then go back and reread it 9 times, so that it's like I've read it. It's like I've read 9 different books. There at the end of it, I'm like, oh my god, that other thing happened to him.
And then you're like so much smarter now because you've learned all this almost quasi physics. Like, oh, I
Exactly.
kind of got it. Yeah.
Right, it's a little too Star Trek-y. That was, though, Star Trek created things. In the original Star Trek, when they'd walk up to the door and it would part.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Then the
sensor.
engineers were like, yeah, we could do that. Well, why don't we put them in grocery stores? And look what was born. It's nice. So what do you read?
I read mainly comics and.
So then, Maria, you read comics then?
I read comics, yeah.
I turned her on to Chew. You ever heard of this one?
Oh, I read Chew.
Eisner Award-winning Chew, and
oh yeah, it's about chicken. Why wouldn't I read Chew?
it's about illegal chicken.
It's about the FDA.
Yeah.
It's about Chew is amazing. Chew is great. Yeah.
Morning Glories. Do you read that one?
I don't read Morning Glories. Who writes that?
I forget his name. But
I can put it in the notes.
It's
I'm
really
sorry.
crazy.
Is it? What's the theory on that?
Mr. Nick Spencer writes it.
All right.
And it's about a high school where these kids are picked based on their birth date to see if they're special.
Okay.
And it's like 4 volumes in right now, and we still don't know what's special about them. But it's just a real mind trip because when you read it, it's one of those books that, I never know what's going on. And
you know what? I disapprove of those.
you just prove it because you want some resolution at the end.
Well, I'm a huge fan of redemption, and I need my Nazis to be buffoonish. I can't. There's no way. I'll. Indiana Jones is as serious a Nazi thing I can watch. So I'll do your Hogan's Heroes. I'll do that kind of thing. Even Schindler's List. Though I thought it was lovely.
Yeah.
Anyway, I would never own it. I don't understand people who own Schindler's List. What Sunday afternoon says, hey, let's put in Schindler's List?
You can't put on Schindler's List and then do the laundry.
No.
Because it's just very disrespectful. Like, I could fold my tea towels.
Right. Shawshank Redemption can play in the background because it is anyway. And,
You're watching TNT, it is.
Obviously that. What used to be on huge rotation was Beastmaster. But, so this is 4 volumes in and you don't really know. But I do like a high school, I do like a teen adventure thing.
Yeah.
So, or I like, teen superheroes and like Young Avengers and
Okay.
Runaways. Did you ever read Runaways?
I didn't read Runaways.
Oh, Joss Whedon took it over for a little while, and that was great. And the logline for Runaways is the best logline ever. Everybody thinks that their parents are supervillains. These kids, they are. And it's about like 6 or 7 kids who find out that their parents are supervillains and go, well, we got to take them down. And it's awesome.
You know what's funny is I'm reading a book right now that's kind of the opposite of that called Gladstone School for World Conquerors.
Yeah?
From Image Comics, and it's about these kids. They're more like middle school, late elementary school.
Okay.
And they are in school to be villains.
Oh.
But in this world, the villains and the heroes have a pact where they fight like on pay-per-view, and it's all set up, it's all staged, but the kids don't know that.
Oh, okay.
And so the kids, they decide like, oh, we're gonna take these heroes down for our parents, for vengeance,
right.
And then, they gets all wrapped up into what's fake, what's real, and it's kind of like pro wrestling and superhero comics put together, because
it's like going to Durmstrang, man. Huh? Yeah. Right there, little HP coming back at you. Little circle. It's, and a little Ender's Game where you don't know you're being filmed.
Yeah.
Where you don't know it's all real. The game is real, man.
Game is real.
Did you read Ender's Game?
No.
You might enjoy Ender's Game. Have you ever read Ender's Game?
No, but all my friends keep telling me I'm stupid for not reading it.
No, but I'll tell you something. It is an easy read. So you could shut them up at about a weekend. Just by going, oh yeah, that was awesome. Because it's just about a 6-year-old who is forced, I tell you, like La Femme Nikita, forced to play laser tag in video games to save the world. So
There was a movie. What was that movie?
Last Starfighter?
Yeah.
Ender's Game is better than The Last
okay.
Starfighter. Though I'll tell you something, The Last Starfighter, since I happened to see it when I was a child, I'm on board.
Yeah.
I will always love The Last Starfighter. I just bought it on Blu-ray, $4.99.
Wow.
Which means
for Blu-ray?
For Blu-ray
Wow.
over at the Target.
Nice.
It was on sale.
That didn't take long.
1984. I think it's from.
I just mean for like the drastic price drop in Blu-ray from going like $30 for everything and $5 now.
And now $5. And they're
And
like,
they include like the regular DVD.
sometimes
and a
in
digital
this
version.
case, yeah, there were, and there's
Okay.
no extras either. Like they didn't find Robert Preston and make him talk about The Last Starfighter, which I wish they would have.
Outtakes.
What a jerk the kid was to work with. Oh, he was such a bastard.
He was such a crazy. He was. It was Lance Guest. Might have been the kid in The Last Starfighter, who was sort of like the poor man's Matthew Broderick. And at the time, because I think it was right around the same time War Games came out.
Okay.
So there you go. It's this is good. This Morning Glories.
Morning Glories is great.
Are you reading a lot of Image stuff or?
Yeah, I'm really big into Image right now. They do Image. Are you familiar with Image and how they?
I had Branwen Bigglestone on the show, and she took me on a tour of Image. Which is,
wow.
Yeah, above a Mexican restaurant.
Yes, I was just there last week with a comic book store owner who was dropping some stuff off, and he's like, "It's really romantic, isn't it? It's everything you thought it would be a comic book store."
Right,
or
there
a
are
comic
9
book.
people in an office.
They're all in cubicles and they're droning away like everyone else.
It's a dork expedition.
Oh, yeah.
Because I go to Image Comics and then I go with Branwen, whose parents own, her mom and her mom's husband own the Games of Berkeley.
Okay. Oh, that's a really fun store.
Yeah, so, and they're within blocks of each other. I just did a dork expedition where her mom showed me around the game store going, so those are Rubik's Cubes. I'm like, I'm going to need it. And she had fascinating stories that, of course, came to minute 53, which is par for the course. You know, because they have Warhammer stuff and they have all the different figurines and the painting and there's a lot of opportunities to tell me stories about how she knew, you know what? What would have been a great question for me to ask her is if she knew the guy who wrote the Dungeons and Dragons book, because I bet she did.
Yeah.
Gary Gygax, or I believe is his name. Whatever, but so you're reading a lot of
Image, yeah.
What Invincible, of course, is amazing
Invincible is crazy good.
because it's Kirkman.
But let's see. I'm reading a lot by. Well, here's a copy of the Gladstones.
Oh, right.
And it's kind of Harry Potter-ish, I think, a little bit. I don't read a lot of Harry Potter, but Maria says it's...
Oh, because it's
They're
that
going to a
school
school.
for
Yeah.
world conquerors.
Yes.
Oh, right. And but there's Unwritten, which is, I think, IDW or Dark Horse. Are you reading Unwritten at all? It's by Mike Carey.
Okay.
Mike Carey's amazing. He wrote Lucifer.
Right.
And it does a lot of superhero stuff, too. But Unwritten is essentially, if J.K. Rowling had a son, she named him Harry Potter. She disappeared mysteriously, and he grew up to be a slacker asshole who went to Comic-Con and signed his name on her books and got drunk and did pot. And then all of a sudden, one day, Voldemort fucking shows up and is like, guess what? It's all real,
all real.
jackass. and now we're in like book 4 of it, and it just gets better and better and better.
Yeah.
Unwritten is one of the best. It's the best title, one of the best titles out there. But this Gladstone looks super fun.
It's
and
real
it's
fun.
only on issue 2.
Oh no, this is. I just got this one off the shelf, so you can,
Oh, how many issues are? I mean,
It's up to like 6 or 7 right now, so you can
Okay,
still
so it's
jump
still
on.
early.
The first trade just came out, so you can get on board with it. It's
Okay.
really good. The one I was reading was Last of the Greats.
Last of the Greats.
And this one is such a great concept by Josh Hale Fialkov, and art by Brent Peoples.
Okay.
The story of this one is basically there were 6 superheroes that came to save Earth,
Right.
but very like Twilight Zone-y, we don't trust them so much.
Oh, right.
And so as time goes on, each of them die
Okay.
under mysterious circumstances, leaving only one.
Okay.
And the Last of the Greats, he says, I don't know what I can do. You guys killed my brothers, my sisters. I don't want anything to do with you guys. And there are these alien ships outside ready to destroy Earth.
Right.
This all happens in issue 1.
Okay.
So I'm not going to spoil anything for the people who are reading, so on and so forth. But he tells them, all right, if you guys basically pledge your allegiance to me, I'll go out and stop those ships right now. Mm-hmm. No questions asked. They're like, okay, we'll do it. He goes up to the ships and he's like, he's in charge of the ships. And he's like, kill a third of them right now.
Okay.
And then as it goes on it's only on issue 3 right now.
Yeah.
And the guy's totally like doing a mind job on everybody and he's ruling the earth.
Did he kill his 5?
Well, and in issue 3, it's coming out. He's going to be on Oprah.
Oh, on the TV show Oprah?
Yeah. But it reminded me of that Twilight Zone episode, To Serve Man.
Oh, right.
Because it was like, we're here to help you. And, we don't trust him. Do we trust him? Do we not trust him? So it's really great in that respect. Just...
Yeah.
Lighthearted fun.
It's light. No, it's not.
It's not. Yeah, it's a little Watchmen-y.
Yes.
It's a little, that is a bit of a, did you ever read any of the Luna Brother titles?
I read, I started to read, Girls. I started to read Girls.
Girls is awesome. Couldn't get into it?
No, I loved it. It was just, I hadn't finished it up. I started reading other stuff, but that's the idea of super hot girls that don't say much and just want to hook up with you. It's like, well, I don't,
But it's just one girl who keeps cloning herself. And then there's eggs of this one girl. But the Luna Brothers, the first one they wrote was a short arc called Ultra. And it was about supermodels who were superheroes.
Yeah.
Huh?
It was like dealing with fame and stuff like that.
It's like an 11-year-old boy dream is what that is. And it wasn't the best one because the next one was Girls, and Girls is just weird and awesome. It's about a small town where this one girl comes to town, and she's nude, and this guy's half in the bag, and he's like, so why don't you have any, here's some clothes, and then she seduces him, but does she, and the whole town goes batshit. I mean, over the arc of this thing, it is amazing. And what I like about Luna Brothers, resolution. It's got an arc, it's finite, it's done. It isn't Brian Bendis, where we're going on 13, 17 years later. And then
the Luna Brothers are like the kings of, social subtext. Like, they're just, you think you're reading a nice little story about an alien girl coming down to mate with guys, but there's so much more going on with relationships, men, women, stuff like that. They
do good characters. They do a nice work with people. And I love, because that's the great thing about comic books is the dialogue. And the stories are always fascinating, but the dialogue is amazing. So
it's, I tell people comics is you don't have to like any one particular thing in comics. If you like any kind of one genre, one anything, there's a comic book out there for you that you'll fall in love with, and then you'll kind of gateway into other comics.
Which is weird because I never liked, I never thought I would like graphics. Picture books or graphic novels or comic books or stories with pictures, essentially, is what they are, where people are like, well, I don't like art, which is a lot like saying, I don't like music. And you know what I hate? Dance. But it doesn't make any, but it is hard because you can, have you ever read any, Maria, have you ever read any of those Brubaker crime comic books? He writes criminal, and there's another one called Incognito, which is about, that's the only one that has any superheroes in it at all, because the Incognito is about supervillains that are in the witness protection program. And,
all right.
And then
they need help too.
They do need help. They need redemption. And what happens is but criminal is just all they are. They're just old noir crime stories. They're awesome old crime stories. And Brubaker's amazing. I mean, everything he does is great. So
his run on everything is great.
Did you say there's a comic book out there for anyone with any?
Yes.
I like.
Oh yes. Sumo wrestlers.
I like comics about people having sex with plants. Is there something out there like that?
There is a comic out there. It was only a one-shot, though, called Our Love is Real. Have you seen this?
Did you know about this? It's a
No.
real thing.
I should have brought it in.
Wait a minute. Nice lobbing the ball to your loved one.
She's the queen of slow-pitch softball.
Well done. And knocked out of the park. What the hell is it called?
It's called Our Love is Real.
Our Love is Real. If somebody loves a plant?
Well, it's set in the future, of course.
Oh, that's where all weird things
as most
happen.
things, because there's no way it could happen now. It's all about this riot officer, who is busting up rioters, and they want equal rights for veggie-sexuals, which are people who they give hormonal injections into plants and make them live and wiggly so they can do things with them. And the thing is, what's even funnier about it is he is a zoosexual, and he has a lover who is a Pekingese or some kind of dog, very small dog.
Yep, you can do anything in comic books.
And even more than that, there's another character who he falls in love with that's human,
right?
But she only loves gemstones.
She loves gemstones.
She only makes love to gemstones, and they.
And then it all deteriorates into some sort of creepy anal bead joke.
The best panel, though, is he's talking about how he's so torn up by being in love with this human.
Right.
And even he goes, and my girlfriend China, she couldn't comfort me. And the panel is the dog in bed standing over him, and the dog's wearing a tutu and angel wings.
Wow, is the dog sentient? Like, is it like a top 10?
They don't
like
go into that
Moore?
if it's...
Okay, because in top 10, it's an Alan Moore series that was a gateway drug that Andy handed me early in my comic book days. And it's sort of like a Hill Street Blues kind of thing where it's a precinct of cops on a world where everybody has superpowers. Like the cops, everybody has some weird superpower. And some of them are lame and some of them aren't. Like, I mean, there's a guy who can start fires and that guy is very powerful. But there's someone else who can animate tiny toys, and her name is Toybox. Okay. And she sends toys out to do recon or whatever. I mean, like the different qualities are just not that. I mean, sometimes they're... So the cops all have powers, and they're trying to police all these people who have all these powers,
okay.
right?
Have you read The Boys?
Oh, I saw that.
It's kind of similar. It's like a shadowy... It's set in present time.
Okay.
Shadowy government organization that's tasked with policing the superheroes. And the superheroes are actually created by, a corporation. And it's very corporate, like, you need to do press releases, you need to do press junkets, all this kind of stuff. And it's by Garth Ennis, who did a bunch of crazy stuff like
Garth
Crossed
Ennis is awesome.
and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. The weird thing about this top 10 was that it's all different. The sergeant who sends everybody out on their assignments is a Doberman Pinscher. Like an anthropomorphic Doberman Pinscher who can talk and stuff.
At least it's not a poodle. I would feel better about taking orders from a Doberman Pinscher than I would a poodle.
Well, and I think there's a golden retriever in the Annihilators who's Russian. He's a Russian golden retriever. For some reason, he has his name is Cosmonaut.
Yeah.
And he's constantly sending out like the Gladiator and and Quasar.
Do they ever throw a bone and try and distract him?
You can distract him. He had the cone of shame on for one issue. Cone of shame. Very sad for a dog. And so, what's the next one you got here?
Actually, I got 3 in a row, or 2. Morning Glories is part of the Shadowline imprint of Image Comics. So, Shadowline, when Image started, there was 3 main guys: Jim Valentino, Eric Larson, and Todd McFarlane, who did Spawn.
Okay.
And Jim,
and they founded Image?
Pretty much. They got tired of working for Marvel and DC. They're great companies, but they wanted their own creator-owned titles. So Jim Valentino created Shadowhawk, and for a long time, that was kind of his only thing, was Shadowhawk on the Shadowline line. And he recently came out with Morning Glories is on there, which is great. A comic called Bomb Queen, which is very sexual. It's very fun that way.
Okay.
And then there's 2 that I love the most right now is Green Wake.
Right.
It's written by Curtis Wiebe. I probably didn't pronounce his name right. And art by...
How do you spell Wiebe?
Wiebe.
Okay.
Wiebe?
Wiebe. I'd go Wiebe.
And art by Riley Rossmo, who's he's just a terrific artist. I just can't get over the way he makes his stuff. It's just so
It's dark.
It's dark. It's very dreamlike. You feel like you're reading something in a dream the whole time. It's very wet, and you just you get a weird textural vibe from it. But Green Wake's basically this Twin Peaks-ish kind of comic about these guys are depressed and they fall into this town of Greenwake.
Right.
Where they basically solve crimes in the town of Greenwake. Okay. It's just very... I wish I could do it better justice.
Is it like a...
it's detective noir-ish.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, and just the art, And
it's beautiful.
It's so gorgeous. He does great work. He did the comic called Proof. I don't know if you know that one. That. Yeah, same artist.
Okay.
Great comic, great art, and same guy does
Did you read Day Trippers?
Yes.
Gabriel Bach?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
That was amazing. That was a very powerful.
Just traveling through his different life, different realities.
It's a reincarnation kind of situation where it's about the same character, same 3 friends, and in every episode the guy dies.
Yeah.
And it's not a spoiler because he dies in every. I mean, it
happens 20 times.
Right, I'm not ruining it. It's 26 episodes, and but it is beautiful because you watch this guy live his life and make different choices or the same choices or the different choices and a twist on the same choices and over and over and over. It's sort of like a loop dream where you're having the same dream over and over again where you're like, if I could change one thing, I could get out of this damn dream.
Yeah, it's like he dates a different girl and this is what happens then. And it's very good. It's very...
He follows this dream in that one and he follows this other job in this one and he's always a writer, I think, right? And,
and his dad's a writer too and he has to deal with that and that kind of stuff.
Day Tripper's amazing. Somebody did email me just now about how I never mentioned Fables. Do you read Bill Willingham?
I read a couple issues of Fables. I just never really got into it as much. It's a great comic. I just never made room for it on the pull list.
And it's huge. I mean, to get into it, it would be I'd recommend if you can find a library.
Yeah.
'Cause I think it's on like book 30.
Yeah.
It's up there.
And it's about fables, and it's about all the fables of the world, and they end up in the Mundy world, the mundane, the muggles. And then instead of muggles, it's Mundy.
Yeah.
And so are you watching any of the TV shows that the new ones?
All 30 of the new fairy tale
like
inspired TV.
Hold on. Once Upon a Time, right? And
Grimm.
then, Grimm.
Yep.
No, I'm not.
I've tried Once Upon a
I'm watching
Time.
so many TV shows right now. It's hard to.
Are you watching a lot of like the new ones, or do you have commitment from before?
I think I have like commitment from before, and then I'm not. I don't know, like. Is Grimm on the CW? Because I refuse to watch anything on the CW. You know, like, I won't watch,
Grimm's supposed to be actually not very good. So I don't think you're missing much.
Because when I see that, like, the promos for it, it doesn't seem that interesting. Like, I saw... We were at the airport, and I saw some of, like, Once Upon a Time, and it's so... You know, on TV, it's so easy to make something cheesy. You know, like, it's so easy to turn fairy tales into something...
I'll tell you this much about Once Upon a Time. It's better than Legend of the Seeker. How about that? Let's go there.
So you're setting the bar pretty low for that
We'll
one.
set the bar low. We'll go up. Yeah. It is better than that. I don't know. It's not bad. I like it. Yeah. I have to admit, it's what?
I should check it out. I just haven't watched it. I've just seen it. It just looks like...
Sometimes
the costumes and the stuff and the
I've done some fast forward. I'm not going to lie to you. I've done some. All right, but then I'll watch anything on fast forward. I'm like, yeah, I'm supposed to watch this. So, but I like the main character. The main character kind of reminds me of a really old. Reminds me of the Bionic Woman for some reason. Talk about an old reference. Yeah. But she really, and I barely remember the Bionic Woman, so it must super resonate with me, because she's sort of blonde and sarcastic. She's the one who's supposed to save this fable town, and she doesn't know that she's,
the one.
She kind of knows, but she doesn't believe it. And there's a little boy, and he's actually doing a pretty good job, because I have a hard time with kids, and kids on TV can be irritating, and he's doing a pretty good job.
Kids in the real world can be irritating, let alone TV.
Sure, are you kidding? With their tiny minds and then boring. No, I like kids. Jackass alert. It's, 14 nieces and nephews. They're all very nice. Fascinating
I only
people.
have 2, and... Well, if my sister's listening, I'll say fascinating, but...
They don't verbalize yet, so they're still on.
Oh my god. And I have a hard time with babies. Babies, first of all, they don't get any of my jokes. It's like, and this is my fault. I have the same problem with the deaf, because I don't speak sign language. I'm willing to take a stand there.
Jackie Kashian equates baby people and the deaf people.
Because the deaf are very smart, and I'm full of rage at myself that I don't speak sign language, so that I can't tell them my jokes. And because if you do stand up, and then sometimes there's a deaf signer. There is, I dare anyone who is talking and someone is signing what they're saying to not say something dirty, just to see what it looks like.
Have you had that happen?
Oh, yeah. Right? Yeah.
What?
To see what kind of...
Yeah, like what it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what fart is?
No.
It's you hold one hand as a fist, and then you make a little like an exploding
poof.
thing. Yeah, a little poof underneath it. A little exploding thing.
How hard was it not to mess with that guy? Like, did you just want to start talking to him directly, like, hey, by the way,
Oh, what you end up doing is you end up saying, you end up doing all of that, where you're just like, I am such a jackass, because this person is actually trying to, and the deaf people in the audience are on satellite delay, right? Because you tell the joke, the hearing people in the audience laugh, and then he signs it or she signs it, and then they laugh. And you're like, okay, well, that's going to mess with my time
just throw your rhythm
for the
off.
Rest of my life. So, whatever.
Like, you're on to the next one, and they're laughing at the last one.
Yeah.
It's like,
right.
Okay, I got to pause.
Right.
You're funny twice, so think about that.
You were your glass half full. Glass half full. Well done, Andrew. So, let's talk FreakinAwesomeNetwork.com.
Okay.
So, you're one of the contributors.
Yeah, well...
You're all over it, though.
I run...
You contribute a lot.
When I take the ball, I run with it. Well, the site was originally a forum for something else called Wrestle Crap. It was all about wrestling and everything wrong with wrestling and all the funny stuff that happened with wrestling.
Okay.
Great site, but the forum was huge. It was like 200-300 people, which is big for any single internet forum.
Okay.
And at a certain point, I don't know what happened because I'm not at that level, but they split and they said, we're going to part ways.
Okay.
Wish you well in your future endeavors. Thanks.
Right.
And the guys who moderate the forum, the at the time Wrestle Crap forum, they said, we want to make our own site. We don't want it just to be a forum out there in space with nothing attached to it.
Right.
So they created the Freakin' Awesome Network to review stuff.
Okay.
And then I was on the forum just, killing time, not while I'm working very hard at work, but there are a few times where I have a few minutes that I get to go on and talk to people online. But they put a call and said, anybody want to write stuff? And I said, oh yeah, I read comics, I'll write about comics. And they brought me on, and then I was just like, I ran with it. I was, I want to do as much as I can with it. So
yeah. So and your reviews are well written. They're informative. I think that I really like them. Quite honestly,
I don't like people who do stuff. Oh, I give it 4 stars out of 5. Oh. I give it 3 Klingons out of 5. Like, what does that mean? There's no empirical chart that says what is what. So I just go, this is why I like it.
Right.
And that's all I'll say about it.
You know what I enjoy? Prose. Yeah, go for it. Use a sentence with a determiner and a verb. So do you submit it all, Maria?
I don't.
Okay.
No. I feel weird, because I don't write comics. So who am I to go well, this one was just okay.
Yeah.
And
I know.
his art was subpar.
I do some movie reviews, and you always feel like, well, everybody works so hard on it.
Yeah.
I've done some acting, not big acting. Small with Andrew here.
Yeah.
Right.
But you think I used to say Jessica Alba, she sucks.
Terrible
acting. And then you try it and you go, she could out-act
She's a genius.
me
Yes.
any day. Because it's much harder. But for reviewing, I would I like the way Andrew reviews. He doesn't tell you what he doesn't like about it. He informs you what it's just about.
Right.
As opposed to, this part's stupid, it's better.
So what about all the tattoos that you guys are wearing here?
Oh, these are temporary. Watch.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, no, wait.
You have a wrestling tattoo.
I do have a full... This is
all
a full...
wrestling tattoos.
Oh, is that your arm of wrestling?
Yeah, so, steel ladder, steel chair, and I got some homage pieces. There was Mr. Perfect.
Mr. Perfect was
a wrestler who would chew gum and spit it out and hit it every time. Because he was perfect.
All right.
British Bulldog. It just got a microphone, the whole...
You went with it. The art on it is great.
Yeah.
Is there a tattoo artist that you particularly enjoy? Or
yeah, there was a lady named Natasha Pritchett. She actually tattoos out of San Mateo now, and she does a lot of my work. She does most of my work on my arm, a lot of work on my leg, and stuff like that. And she's done a lot of cool stuff.
It seems they're beautiful.
She does a lot of good work, and then you'll probably like this one.
Oh my gosh! That's Venture Brothers. That's one of the minions.
Number 24. May he rest in peace.
Oh,
yeah.
I'll tell you, Andy was number 24 for Halloween. No, he did it was a LARP. Actually, it was a Venture Brothers LARP. So there was 24 and 29. Is that the
21?
21. Yeah. Sorry about that. So his buddy Scott was 21, and then they called in to the show when the show used to be not pre-recorded and you could just call in.
Yeah.
And Scott Rogers, he couldn't talk as himself. He could only talk as 21, and he just went on and on and on. I was like, "Oh my God, you're amazing! Go, make it happen, brother."
We go to a lot of conventions, like comic book conventions, or just whatever, fun stuff, tattoo conventions.
Right.
Almost always there's someone who will hey man, is that number 21? And they'll try and do it in that Ray Romano-esque sounding voice to me.
And so there are tattoo conventions? Of course there are. Why wouldn't there be tattoo?
Oh man, yeah.
Yep. Do you also go to this woman, the Natasha woman?
Natasha, yes, she did my Sweeney Todd paper doll tattoo here.
Oh, very nice. Holy smokes. Is that arm very Sweeney Todd-esque, or is it...
Well, it is. It's Sweeney Todd, yeah. Well, she's Mrs. Lovett,
Okay.
Her,
and then different paper dresses to put on Mrs. Lovett if someone wanted to cut them out of your skin and then superimpose them over...
If only.
The art...
Yes.
The art is amazing. Holy smokes.
She's really amazing. Not a lot of tattoo artists like to do small pieces because it can, go way easier. You kind of lose detail on it.
Yeah. Oh, is that it?
Yeah, if you go smaller, you lose detail over time, but she just does...
She's like, amazing. Well, enjoy it for the time that it's on your arm. Knock yourself out.
All skin goes bad eventually. Might as well have it good while it's good.
This is my...
And what's the blue?
Tim Burton.
Is that Tim Burton side? Okay, what are they from?
Tim Burton did an art show at the MoMA in New York.
Okay.
And this was a balloon. It was like a big blown up
inflatable piece. And
I saw it and I just thought that was really cool. And
you took a picture of it?
I saw it online. I didn't go to New York or anything.
Okay.
I saw it online. Just my, browsing.
Fair enough. Browsing.
It was really cool. He has a lot of eyes.
You guys like art. And then that's a squiddy thing down low.
This is a little squid, yeah. I get most of my inspiration for my tattoos from the DeviantArt.
Is that what? DeviantArt.com?
Yeah.
Is it just a site like Flickr kind of thing where people can submit?
Yep, it's a different site where people have their own profiles of different art they have on. I'm not an artist, so I have no drawings or anything up there, but everything is really amazing. Like you see so many different
people are amazing.
Yeah.
It's just like and with the internet anyone can submit.
Yeah.
And so you can see all different kinds of amazing art. That's when did you start getting tattoos?
After I met Andrew.
Oh really? How long have you two been together?
Like 2 years?
3 years.
2 or 3 years. Yeah.
So in the last 3 years you've gotten
and this
looks like a dozen,
you know?
Yeah. Holy
There's
smokes.
more. I think I've always wanted to get tattoos, you know, I just never was brave enough to do it. And at one time I thought that I would like model or something, you know. And in my head I was like, no, I don't want they have to put paint on me to cover my
well, what do you
tattoos.
I like how you mock the fact you could model. You're good looking people.
And then I was like, that is the most ridiculous nonsense, Marie, because I'm not going out and auditioning for anything.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting at home.
She thought I was going to come to her.
Yeah. Yeah, it's also a really good way to get a boyfriend or a girlfriend, by the way, is to just sit in your house and wait for someone to knock on the door.
That's true.
Looks like a charm. Well, I always have the same kind of like mini speech I talk about with tattoos is don't be pigeonholed by what you see on TV or like don't just go, I want a tattoo. I'll get a tribal piece. Or I'll get a Chinese symbol, which I have, but you know.
Yeah.
It's really
you have a Chinese symbol?
I do. Well, when I was
What does it say? What does it say?
It says, the flower was added later. It just says wisdom, strength, I don't know, something.
Oh, it's a wisdom or strength kind of one?
it means hardworking. It's actually what it means.
Oh, it's hardworking.
My brother and I it was my first tattoo at a convention with my brother, and we both got the same thing, and then you know, it's one of those things. I was 18, so I'm like, kanji is cool when you're 18, and it's always cool. It's always cool, but I don't want to sound like a snob.
Right.
But it's not very cool.
Well, eventually, you get past the thing. Andy has 2 tattoos. He has, his dad has a pair of dice, on his forearm. And so Andy got 3 dice when he was 18 because he wanted to be a dick.
Want to one-up his dad.
Yeah, he wanted to
there you go, old man.
Yeah, here you go. Why didn't you get a 20-sided die, we always say to him.
Like,
that would have been
What do you play with 3 die? Like, what do you play with that?
Champions. 3 to 30. Anyway, and then he got, I think he was like 21 or 22. He got a turtle on his foot to remind him to slow down.
That's
they're both very nice tattoos as far as, you know, and he wants to get new tattoos.
Yeah.
But I think that I am not the one, like this, it's perfect that he is like, hey, I'm going to go get a tattoo because that will encourage you to go get a tattoo because you never wanted one until you saw him do it.
Well, when I've always wanted one, but I never thought about what I would like want to keep.
Yeah.
Because it's like, do I want that? And it's
forever.
Like, no.
Right.
And then I just thought like, well, I would hate whatever I had for like 10 years from now. And then I just thought like, I don't care anymore. I'm just going to get what I want. And
yeah, and then just go off on that. It's because I'm having Margaret Chose on the next episode that I record, and she's a tattoo nerd as well. She is on board with the tattooing. She just had her friend Bruce's face tattooed on her belly.
Nice.
And I was like, I like Bruce too.
Yeah.
It's not happening. Bruce Daniels, very funny guy, very smart on a previous episode, friend of the show. Very smart, funny man. I don't need a tattoo of anybody on my, and I don't know what tattoo I would get. Like, I don't want to get, I met a guy I worked at this hippie t-shirt shop in Minneapolis, and he decided he wanted to go mad. That was his thing. He was like, he read too much Hunter S. Thompson, and he decided, I'm going to take ecstasy or PCP or something, and I would like to know what it would be like to go insane. Not realizing that once, there's no undoing.
You don't go back.
Yeah. Okay. So, and his buddy was the one I worked with, and I was like, so did you know him when he wasn't... Like, what he did was, he had a train, a choo-choo train, like a steam engine, tattooed around his neck, and he cut off his own ear for the stack.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that isn't actually okay. This is not the safest space for that. That's not what the Dork Forest is about, to encourage any sort of removing.
My mic didn't go out. I was just speechless for like for like 10 seconds there. I've got a lot of tattoos, and even I think, whoa.
Right, there's no reason to, like, you know what?
To Van Gogh it that far.
Yes,
if you will.
yes, exactly. It's like, what I want is I want a tattoo on my phantom limb. You know, it's just like some sort of insanity. It's like, it doesn't make any sense. It's beautiful art, though. I mean, as far as art goes.
That's the thing. It's like, there's different... I think I have had a different artist tattoo me, so it's really nice to get your own
you've gone with a different artist for each piece?
This is a different person, she did all this, but each of my tattoos is by someone different.
Well, and that's terrifying. Just because you think, I hope that they're good. Don't you think?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, you can have their portfolios online, and you can, once you get into the community of tattoos, you can say, like, hey, is this person good? And they go, oh, yeah, they're real good. Because it's a very small community in the area.
Okay.
So it's like, I can show someone this, and I'll go, hey, did so-and-so do that?
Okay.
And I go, yeah, how did you know? Oh, I can tell her style.
Oh, that's right. I suppose the same with comic books. Where you're just like, yeah, that's how you draw.
Good art is good art. And I tell people, they go, what does it mean? They go, what does your 21 or 24 tattoo mean? It doesn't mean anything.
It means that I really enjoy that.
It means
program.
I watched it. I liked 24. I liked the way it looked, and I wanted it. It's aesthetically pleasing to me. Not everything is like, my father was actually 24, and he died in the same way 24 did. You know?
He loved butterflies.
Yeah.
And what happened was,
it's not always a deep philosophical meaning. It just looks nice. It's aesthetically pleasing. And
right. There's some art. Like, we have a piece of art that in our kitchen, it's just a salt shaker. And it's just a really cool looking I mean, it was just a guy on the street painted a salt shaker. That's all. Yeah. And I'm in favor of that. Yeah.
I like it.
It doesn't mean anything. And it can go in the kitchen, because that's where we keep the salt.
I think it's hard to get something that... I couldn't get something that reminds me of someone that's passed. You know, because that would be a constant reminder that person's dead. You know? Like,
that's morbid.
Yeah. Right. To get, like, the palm of your hand, it's like, oh, by the way, your mom's dead.
Well, they get, like, portraits of their mom and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'd be depressed, like...
It'd be a little heavy.
Day. Yeah, that's too much for me.
It's I mean, I think that we're in a time of tattoos when they don't mean as much. Mm-hmm. I mean, that it's more just art, and it's more just, I love that image. I would like to see that more often. Yeah. So what I'm going to go with.
Yeah, exactly.
My father is the one who turned me on to tattoos, actually, and he was he's from Kansas City, as am I, and he's kind of like a long-haired hippie dude, but not a hippie because he went to the Marine Corps, so he's a weird mix.
Right.
But he made his own tattoo gun out of like a guitar string and a sewing machine and a needle, and he would do like him and his buddies would do tattoos on you know.
Oh, my oldest brothers did that.
Yeah, and
they were 14, and they were just like, my brother Scott has his own name.
Yeah.
Because he was 14.
Because you'll forget.
Right, and so his buddy wrote the word Scott down his right arm. And then he was like, I want a cross on the other side, you know? He's like, because he was an altar boy, and so it looks more like a plus. And so recently, like about in the last 10 years or something, he got that fixed. He got it made into like a real, you know, like at least a decent looking cross. If you're going to put a cross on your arm, for the love of God, please do it. And so he did, you know, his brother, you know, he would do his buddies and his buddies would do him. Yeah. So what does your dad have on it?
Oh, my dad has all kinds. He has like...
He has lots of tattoos?
Yeah, I mean, I think I have maybe more than him on my arms than he does, but he's got like a back piece that he's doing, and...
I saw a guy who had horses running across his back, and it was awesome. It looked really good, and he was in pretty good shape. He was probably, you know, mid-40s, and he was a little soft, but he wasn't... He still was pretty buff, and... He would move his shoulders. He could make the horses move. It looked pretty great.
So the girl who does my wrestling tattoos, she is half black and half white.
Okay.
And she said she tattooed a guy who was like black, really black. And
super dark?
Super dark.
Right.
And he had a back piece. And when he would get, he worked outdoors. When he would get tan, that tattoo would disappear. Ah. And so during the winter, when he didn't get as much sun, it would come back. It was like the disappearing, reappearing tattoo.
Well, it's like one of those mugs that you buy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's nice. It's a mug.
You pick it up and it's something.
Yeah. You turn it upside down, boobies. You know?
I had a pen once. Guy would drop his trousers.
And I bet you were like the most popular girl that day, weren't you?
It was pretty great. Granted, I was in my mid-20s.
I thought you were saying, this is like last week, but it was still fun.
This was last week. Still made me laugh.
Showing it around the office. Check this out, boss.
I was like, that was ridiculous. But, yeah, I I wonder, can you get it like fluorescent tattoos and stuff? Like, do they have ink that glows?
They do have some, yeah.
Ones.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, blacklight reactive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And what about, does your dad have like a Marine tattoo?
He does. He actually got...
My dad has a Navy tattoo.
This one he got in the Marines. And then when he said, "Oh, you want me to I want to do a tattoo on you, son," and I was like, "Okay, I want this one." And it's a little devil, it's like a little hot shot kind of thing. And
did he draw that?
No, he picked it. He got it off the wall like 30 years ago when he first got it.
Okay.
Off the flat, which is called Flash, which is the tattoos on the wall that you can get that are just pre-drawn.
Oh, those are the pre-drawn ones that you could just pick.
Yeah, you see it on the wall like it's an anchor or it says tiger, and you can say, "I want that one." That's Flash that artists draw up and put on the wall.
Okay.
The biggest misconception about tattoo artists is that they're super tough, scary dudes.
Yeah.
They are the nicest people. They're artists. That's what you got to remember about tattoo artists, the same as comic book artists. Mm-hmm. They're so nice. They're so sensitive. Do you like it? Are you happy with it? Are you okay with it? They're constantly needing the reassurance.
Well, what are you going to do if you're not?
Yeah.
I mean, it's sort of like a haircut, except for that your hair grows back.
They can work on it. You'd be surprised what they can do.
To recover.
They can touch it up. They can cover it up. I mean, this you can only do so much when there's already so much stuff on there.
Right.
But they can go over with a bigger piece.
Right.
And hide it and make it better. I've seen some crazy good cover-ups.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Do you got any suggestions for the name Scott? I was like, what about a snake?
Scottsdale. I love Scottsdale. Best city in the world, brother.
Yeah.
He lives in Omaha. He's from Chicago. And so, there could be like an NFL kind of thing. It could be like a Green Bay. He could do we're Wisconsin people.
Is it it's just Scott?
Yeah.
Oh, you can get that covered up. What you do is you just do he'll do a black piece on top of it. So like a hat. And then the hat can be belonging to like a naked lady or whatever.
Really? Whatever you want to put on it. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Like
why? Just call him Scotty.
Scotty.
Could just
beam me up, Scotty. Add more onto it.
But it's and they're all in blue. They're just in that one sort of needle blue that
even better.
It's called prison blue.
Is it?
Well,
that's awesome.
The prison tattoos you get with the ink. I don't even know how many ink they use.
I think it's probably ballpoint pen ink.
Ballpoint. Yeah, so it's blue.
Yeah. I think it is ballpoint. Yeah. Do you realize the last 15 minutes all we did was talk about tattoos, which I'm psyched about. It's been an hour.
That's a great visual discussion for
You could only be here and see this. I'm going to take off my shirt now and show you the rest.
What do you guys want to plug? What do you want to...
just the only thing is FreakinAwesomeNetwork.com.
Right? You don't want to plug your day job, Maria? Anything?
My day job sucks. No, I'm just
kidding.
It's called zoomodern.com or zoomod.com. We're a furniture manufacturer wholesaler. I say we. Excuse me. They're a furniture wholesaler. And we don't sell directly to the public, but if you Google zoomod...
I like that you took me dead serious. You're like, well, what I do is I sell catheters.
For all those Target executives out there,
right?
Let me tell you about this great.
We're having a hell of a deal on some found hotel furniture. Yeah. And
it looks like our stuff.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've listened to another hour of the Dork Forest. I hope you've enjoyed yourselves. I've had a good time. And get out there and read some comic books and get yourself get some tattoos. Yeah. Yeah, it's your body. Do whatever you want. Knock yourselves out. Try not to sleep with a dog.
My hat, my hat, my hat. They're dancing around my hat. My hat, my hat, my hat. Well, what do you think of that? If it looks like a Mexican hat dance and it sounds like a Mexican hat dance, it's most likely a Mexican hat dance. So take off your hat and let's dance.
Yay! Oh my God. Why don't we just call that as the end of the show?